here, I don't know. You probably won't be able to hear the sound when we
Yeah,
show
there
this.
won't be sound.
There won't be sound. I thought these were loft wings at first because it was hard to tell.
Mhm.
But God, the voice actor that I assume is Ganondorf. Why can't they get better voice acting in these games? It sounded like a high school kid just trying to sound like
An
like
old man.
an aggressive man.
Hey, he's dehydrated.
Is that what the community is referring to him as? Or is that just what you guys are saying?
Yeah. We have
No,
dehydrated
some
Ganon and
people.
rehydrated Ganon.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know about rehydrated Ganon.
Not yet. We know
Officially.
for sure he's like zombie dehydrated.
Yeah.
You
But
know who the voice actor is, right?
No.
no, I don't.
Oh, okay. It's Matthew Mercer who does he does McCree. He's McCree's voice actor.
It's not McCree.
Sorry, Cassidy. Cassie's voice actor.
Isn't he all
He's
Crom,
also
right?
Espio,
Yep, there's
and he's
dehydrated Ganon. Yep,
Crom.
there he is.
Yep,
Yeah.
he's Crom as well.
Jeez, yeah, now I know who he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
SBO, oh my god. Speaking of Sonic, we're gonna be seeing a Sonic moment soon in the Zelda game. and I'll wait till we see. Yeah, there's a Sonic moment, right? The
Yep.
grind rail.
Some
And
kind
then-
of cannon gun.
Like the more we see of this game, the more I'm like, we still don't know. Like the Banjo
Yep.
Kazooie nuts and bolts moment right there. The more we see of this game, the more I still say like we don't know
We
a
have
lot about
no
it.
idea. Yeah, we have
Right?
no idea what's on the horizon. A
Yeah.
lot of people are worried because we still haven't seen a lot, but like I will stress this to everybody who's expressing online like they're not showing anything, that there's not going to be a lot new in this game. Breath of the Wild had the exact same marketing strategy. These games are about discovery. Nintendo is not hiding things because things haven't changed. They're not hiding things because there's no content. They're hiding things because there's so much content and they want you to be overwhelmed by it. Like that is the whole purpose of these games. And it is
Absolutely.
intentional. Like there's a reason they have like it is so obvious. It is so obvious from the first trailer till now that Ganondorf has a role in this game. Yet they still won't confirm it because they want every moment to feel authentic. And they know that that's what made Breath of the Wild the amazing experience it was. And had they shown more of Breath of the Wild, had they shown us all the features, all the things that there was going to be towns, had they given us all like I remember like leading up until Breath of the Wild, we didn't even know if there would be towns or NPCs. We
We didn't even know if there were rupees.
we had no idea, like literally nothing. We knew that there were going to be these shrines on the Great Plateau, and we knew that there was going to be the abilities, right? Like we knew
Oh,
those
the runes. Yeah.
the runes. Like that's about it. Like we didn't really know that much about the game. Not just story wise, but just like gameplay wise, and like everything was an absolute surprise in that game. And I really feel like they would have kept more hidden if they felt like they didn't need to show off the gameplay. Whereas in this game, they're like, we don't need to show off the gameplay. Like you know,
They're
it's
not
a direct
launching. This game's
sequel.
not launching a system, right? Like
Yeah,
they don't
and
need.
you know it's a direct
right?
sequel. You know what the gameplay is. Like, yeah, the gameplay is going to change, but if you're expecting it to change in like massive functional ways, you're kidding yourself. Like, if you like, I will also send this message out there for everybody. If you didn't like Breath of the Wild and you're still hung up on the things that you didn't like about Breath of the Wild, there is a good chance you're not going to like this game. Like if you're still hung up on that weapon durability was a bad thing in Breath of the Wild when the vast majority of people do not agree with you, you're kidding yourself if you think that they're going to remove it for your criticisms when most people were indifferent or enjoyed it. So I think that's the thing that people need to remember is they're not hiding things for you. This game isn't for you. This game is for everyone. It is the sequel to the most successful Zelda game of all time, the most critically acclaimed Zelda game of all time, still regarded as one of the best open world games of all time. And Nintendo does not need to show you anything to sell this game. And the best way I can sum it up is somebody online said it perfectly. Thank you, random person on GameFAQs. Somebody said, wow, This really feels like the God of War Ragnarok crisis all over again, because this is the same kind of crap people were saying about God of War Ragnarok. They're not showing enough. This game just looks like it's the same. They're not changing enough. It's just a DLC. Like, this game isn't even going to have a lot of content. And that game was last year's game of the year by some people's standards, because that is what this game is going to be. It's going to be bigger version of Breath of the Wild, and I'm so excited.
Yeah,
Mhm.
their marketing
And, like-
strategy. I'm sorry, Mateo. The marketing strategy for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is going to be. So you heard of Breath of the Wild?
Basically. And like the thing is, and I think a lot of the, I don't know if it's like negativity about that's this game's getting now. I think a lot of it has to do with the $10 price increase. And honestly, if that is a huge deal to you, I don't know what to say. Like, that is, to me, it's so insignificant. Like, who cares? Like, people are saying, "Oh, I'm paying an additional $10. I'm paying next gen game prices." It's $10 American. It's actually $20 in Canada. So you Americans, you're still fine, okay? We're paying $90 for the base version of this game. More on that later. But the price increase. Oh, I'm paying this amount of money for a game that runs at 30 frames a second on old hardware that I had when I was playing on my Xbox 360 and PS3. I don't agree with that at all. Like, the game is going to be a massive game. The reason why I think it's expensive is because it's the biggest file size for a game on the Switch, and to accommodate for the physical cartridges, like, Nintendo has to use the bigger game cartridges that like no one ever used for Switch before. So those are actually more expensive to manufacture. So unfortunately they're passing that off to customers. And they also said, don't expect this increased price thing to be every game going forward. Like, Pikmin 4 is not going to be an increased priced game. It's going to still be 60 US, 80 Canadian. You can use a voucher to get this game digitally. It's not going to cost you extra. You just buy your 2 vouchers, and like, that's actually you maximizing your investment on the vouchers by buying Tears of the Kingdom digitally. The extra cost to buy this game is warranted. Like, Breath of the Wild alone, like that game, I think people would argue that they would have spent more money on that game because of how amazing it was, how much time you invested into it. Like, I think Breath of the Wild still is my most played game on Switch. So if you're looking at it just purely on like a dollar per minute, or at this case, the real thing would be cents per minute, like, your value for this game is incredible.
Yeah, and the value is there.
Honestly, if people have an issue about it, then just don't buy the game. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
like, it really
Yeah,
bothers
don't.
me
Like,
that they bring the
really.
money factor up. Like, if
And
you're
like,
that hard up on $10, like, you shouldn't be a gamer.
yeah, and that's the thing, is there's a ton of next gen quote unquote games that are coming out on PS5 and Xbox Series X that have the same price tag, that don't even have half of the heart put into it.
Cough, cough, Forspoken. Cough, cough.
Yeah, but like crap like that. Forspoken's $94.99. So
That's
um,
disgusting.
anyway, in Canada at least. But like on top of that, like, you look at like next gen versions of games that also exist on past gen versions are like $10 more. So I mean, I don't know why Nintendo made this game $10 more, because they definitely don't need to. Like, like, maybe for this game, sure, but like as a company, they definitely don't need to price it there. But I do wonder internally about this game, because like, leading up to this game, there was a lot of talk from insiders, from game devs that were like analyzing the crap out of the engine and the graphics and the lighting, and were saying this game is not running on a Switch. This game is running on something stronger. And I wonder if the reason the price is like this is because this was supposed to be either released with their successor system, which I don't think it is, because the successor system is supposed to be coming out at the end of next year, or if it was supposed to be released with the like transitionary system, the like Switch Pro, that has since been, according to leakers, scrapped because they're so close to the successor. But I wonder if that's why. Like, I wonder if it's because like they built this game with stronger tech, so it actually was more
Expensive to develop.
But then because they scrapped the Switch Pro, what they're doing is like
They're gonna have to make
they
it work.
still have. Well, they no, because there was always going to be a regular Switch version of the game, right?
Mhm.
But they're still pricing it at $89.99 because, like, who knows? Maybe when the Switch 2 comes out next year, they release like a version of the game or even a patch for the game that's like a 4K update.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I do think that this game at some point along that development cycle was supposed to be for stronger hardware, and that might be why we still see the remnants of the price. They just don't want to tell us that. Obviously, they're not going to tell us that. We will go a little further in because there is a little bit more here. Oh, I love this. That shot. That's the money shot.
I wonder if is Zelda gonna die?
Yep. 100%.
Yeah. Yep. That.
Theory time. I'm not going to go long like I did with
Xenoblade.
we'll go back a little just so I can get that money shot while I talk about this. But not going to be like Xenoblade. But my little theory that I've had is, the game's called Tears of the Kingdom. Nintendo stressed for a long time that they could not tell us the name of the game because it was a spoiler. And then when the name came out, a lot of people were like, "What's so spoilery about that game or about that name?" And I really, really wonder if the whole game, because we've been speculating like there's clearly a time travel going on. Like we know through
They just won't say
leaks,
it.
through like visuals that there's some kind of time travel element going on here. Like I wouldn't even be surprised if Ganondorf himself doesn't actually appear in the present and only appears in like past, like whether either through memories or through a time travel thing. But I really think that the opening of the game is that Zelda dies. I think they kill Zelda, and the whole plot of the game is like because like Zelda dies. So what happens when Zelda dies, right? The
Mhm.
same thing that happened when Hylia left the world. The entire Hyrule goes up into the sky as a failsafe to protect itself because the goddess is gone until she comes back. And I think the whole game is going to be Link going through time and trying to undo Zelda being killed. Like I think the
Mhm.
whole game is going to be like reversing that, and I think that's what Tears of the Kingdom is referring to. I think it's referring simultaneously to the idea of like the tears being shed because of the tyranny that Ganondorf is inflicting on the people, because he's obviously in this game or in this trailer at the beginning he's like leave nobody alive. Like his goals have changed since Ocarina of Time. Like he's not trying to control Hyrule anymore. He's trying to kill everything. Like he's done. He's like, I don't care about this kingdom anymore. I just want everybody dead. So
Yep.
that the part of it is that tears, like the tyranny, but the other half being like the mourning of Zelda, the mourning, the loss of the goddess, the loss of the princess. So I wonder if it's going to be like that is the duality. That's my theory.
Mhm.
But yeah, money shot there. But yeah, at the end here, we get a little bit more. Some nice, fun announcements at the end here.
Very
That
nervous going into this point, by the way,
yeah,
because this
Pre-orders
was like,
begin.
okay, how much money are we going to be spending on this game when it comes
yeah.
out? And
So
thankfully, not that much.
it actually is quite a bit. In
Well,
Canada, it's significant, but
it's
um,
better than the alternative.
it is. And I will say, like, I had a big sigh when I saw this because I was nervous that there was going to be another master edition, and not because of price. Had nothing to do with price for me. More had to do with like, will I be able to get one? And when I found out it was only one collector's edition, I'm like, we're good because it was easier to get. Like, it was fairly easy to get the special edition for Breath of the
Yeah.
Wild. Like, I'm not gonna say easy by most people's standards, but easy by our standards as people who like check
Wait in line.
Amiibo, Reddit, and wait in line, and like right, like usually we get things if they're like mildly available. So when I saw this, I was like, okay, I feel confident, and lo and behold, we did get one. We were able to get them. Which is
Mhm.
great. Everybody at the Hub World got one, save for Riley, who didn't want one, and Iyako, who I don't think wanted one. But yeah, so we were able to secure them. That's really great. I'm very excited. This poster actually there is a metal poster, like it's a
Yep.
metal print, which is really cool. So I see where the
Is that a
money comes
steelbook?
in. That
Is
is
that
a
a steelbook?
steelbook. Yep.
What are those
And then the
7
pins.
orbs
That
on that?
is those are pins. Oh, the
No,
seven
no,
orbs. No,
well,
I don't know.
On the that's interesting.
Those are
maybe
the
those.
tears. Those are the tears of the kingdom.
Oh, 7 crystals,
Yeah.
like in A Link to the Past. Oh
Because
gosh.
think about it. You needed the tears. Remember what you needed to collect to forge the Master Sword? The tears. So you needed to reforge the Master Sword after
Oh
it
no,
breaks.
I don't want to go to the world with those stupid phantom things chasing around.
What if those
Please,
phantom
no.
things are the what's it called? The Zonai. What if they were created by
Oh
the
god.
Zonai? What if the
Oh
Silent
Oh
god.
Realm
god.
is
Now's not the
connected to
place
the
to start
Zonai?
theory crafting. That's another episode.
Now's not
Now's
the
not
time
the
to bring up
place.
the Zonai. But the thing underneath the box art is a pin collection. There's 4 pins
Yeah.
in there, and there was actually a trailer that I think Nintendo UK released of like it was like a motion trailer of showing off like each individual item in the collector's edition. And even when they showed off the pin set, they only showed off that first pin. They did not show the other 4 pins,
Yeah.
which I find very
What's
interesting.
on that pin? Like, what is it?
It's some weird symbol, and honestly, like we thought there was going to be a Switch OLED announced because someone took a picture of a Switch OLED and they're saying this is a Switch OLED that's going to come out for Tears of the Kingdom. And people looked at that OLED and they saw the swirly sort of
That
pattern that's on the
symbol.
box. And
Yeah.
then that symbol on the first pin is on the back of the Joy-Con.
So it's
So
happening.
it's going to happen. And I'm honestly a little surprised they didn't
I'll
show
have
it.
to line up again.
I'm still not convinced. I don't know whether or not I'm going to do it or not. I might pull the trigger. I might not. It all depends on how I feel that day, I think.
I am. I'll tell you why. When the Hylian Shield 2DS came out, I
Oh,
told
yeah.
myself, I don't need this because I already have a DS and I don't need another DS. And I regret it to this day that I do not have that 2DS. Like, I still regret it. I still look at how much it's worth now and cry. Not because I could have sold it, I cry because I will never have it because it's
Mhm.
way too much money. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, when all
Could
is
very
said and
well be the
done,
same thing.
and the Switch 2 comes out, and I currently own 3 Switches. I own 2 Switches and a Switch Lite. I don't own a Switch OLED. But when all is said and done, one day I am sure I will only have one Switch left, and I will give away or sell the other ones. And if that one Switch I have left is not that OLED Switch, then I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm calling myself the biggest Zelda fan. So I better get that OLED Switch. That's all I'm saying. Is that
Yep.
Switch is for me, and it's more for the Joy-Con than anything because the Joy-Con are
Yeah,
really cool.
definitely.
Still have the Skyward Sword one sealed.
I still have a sealed copy of the Skyward ones too, as well as regular.
Mhm.
But yeah, and then just the last thing here is this guy,
Amiibo.
which is the amiibo. The amiibo looks really cool. It's very detailed. I'm very excited about this amiibo.
The factory
Not up
workers
for-
did a real good job on this one.
Yeah.
We say that
Speaking
every
of
time.
amiibo, actually, they didn't show it in the trailer, but again another like post
Press release.
direct press release. The amiibo in this game will function similarly to Breath of the Wild in that they'll give you cosmetics. However, they're not as good, is the technical term, because you got full on outfits in the original, which I'm sure we'll still have access to in this game through some means, but maybe they want to include them in different ways. But we'll get different gliders. So like I know the Majora's, like the young Link gives you like a Majora's Mask glider, and like the Rider Link from Breath of the Wild gives you a glider that looks like his hood. The Zelda from Skyward one gives you a sailcloth that looks like the sailcloth from Skyward, and
Oh,
like
that's cool.
yeah, there's a lot of cool
I
ones.
only
They
knew of
showed
the
off-
Majora's Mask one. I'm honestly, and just in general, for Zelda, I'm just happy we don't have like this massive amount of stuff that we know about the game. I really like that veil of mystery. Like, I want that to be preserved. I don't think Nintendo's gonna put out like a massive blowout trailer. So at this point, I might actually just ghost everything that comes out about this game and just experience everything firsthand when I play it.